Hey guys, it is Monday, May 19th, 2025. My name is Tony. This is my podcast, and welcome to it. I've been carrying something lately, and I didn't fully notice it until recently. It's not about her, not directly. It's not even about the past, at least not in the usual way I think of it. What's been showing up is me. Or more accurately, the version of me I had to become in order to keep that relationship going. She is not the one who lingers. I don't feel pulled back to her, but the version of me I used to be with her still hangs around. The way I learned to behave, the things I thought I had to trade to be loved, that's what still clings to me. I don't live in that space anymore. My life doesn't resemble what it once did. The way I connect now, the way I am now is different, sharper in some ways and softer in others. There's space in my current relationship to be present, to be real, to say less or more, depending on what the moment calls for, without worrying that everything might fall apart as a result. But something I didn't expect, sometimes when things are at their best, that's when the old patterns speak the loudest. It's not because anything's wrong now. I mean, it's actually the opposite. It's because I feel safe in a way I never did before. And that safety highlights exactly where I used to fold myself up just to keep the peace. There's a kind of closeness emerging that I haven't experienced before. A closeness that doesn't ask me to shrink or hold back or to earn it. And instead of rushing toward it, I find myself pausing, not out of fear exactly, more like a reflex. Like my body still remembers what it felt like to be punished for needing too much or for loving too hard. It remembers the cost of letting my guard down before I was safe. Now, just as I'm learning to rest in something honest, something mutual, something from my past is re-entering the picture, at least briefly. Not by my choice. There's an event coming up that matters deeply to me, and it's about my son, his accomplishment, his milestone, his graduation. And she'll be there because, of course, she will. It's not about her, and it's not about the old relationship. We've both moved on, but the idea of being in the same place, even just for a short time, is stirring something that I thought I had put to rest a long time ago. I'm not afraid of her. I'm not carrying heartbreak, and there's no longing left, but I am aware, maybe hyper aware, of how quickly those old habits can resurface when the person you learned them with is suddenly across the room. The version of me I had to be back then wasn't a temporary lapse. It was methodical. It was patterned. It was practiced. And the rehearsal was daily. I don't want to be that man again. The one who scanned every silence for signs of disapproval. The one who read between every word, second guessed every sentence, and measured every part of himself against an invisible checklist. The one who confused peace with quiet and quiet with absence and absence with failure. And yet he's still in me somewhere. He shows up when I feel unsteady, even now. He tells me to shrug when I want to speak. He urges me to fix things when I feel unsure. And he tempts me to disappear when the room feels too loud. But while I don't follow him anymore, I haven't entirely silenced him either. The truth is, I've started to like who I am again. Not just in theory, not just on paper, but in those unscripted, wordless moments when I'm sitting beside someone who sees me clearly and doesn't flinch. Someone who responds without needing an explanation. Someone who reaches the parts of me that I didn't know were still alive. There's no pretending in that space, no role to play. And that makes it more disorienting when the ghost of my former self whispers that I should armor up just in case. Because the timing isn't lost on me. Now that I'm settling into something rooted and real, now that I've started letting go of the old performance, this memory of who I used to be comes walking through the door in the form of a shared past, not metaphorically, literally, a return, brief but powerful, of someone who once held the key to my sense of worth. So now I'm holding both things at once, the truth of what I have and the residue of what I lived through. I'm not confused about which one is mine now, but my nervous system hasn't quite caught up. It still braces for battle even if there's no enemy, and it still prepares for war when all I really want is peace. But I don't want to brace anymore. I don't want to rehearse. I don't want to freeze in anticipation of a threat that might not come. I want to keep moving in my new rhythm, this slower, steadier pace where I'm not required to edit myself to belong. And that's the real grief, I think. Not the past that happened, but that for so long I believed I had to become someone else just to survive it. And now that I've remembered who I am, I can feel the cost of that forgetting. I don't hate the version of me that I used to be with her. He was doing the best that he could. He was resourceful. And in some ways, he kept things afloat longer than they should have. But I don't want him steering the ship anymore. So as this moment approaches, this collision of past and present, I'm doing what I've never done before. I'm staying fully conscious. I'm letting myself feel the discomfort. I'm letting myself remember, not so I can retreat into it, but so I can finally put it down. Because I don't live there anymore, and neither does she. But the ghost still knocks. And this time, I'm answering the door as myself. This week, my friends, remember, when someone from your past makes you flinch, it doesn't always mean that you need healing. Sometimes it means you remember. And remembering is part of being human.